Why have such big chopsticks?
For deep frying for the beef, actually.
Right.
So you don't need to go too close. Hello guys, welcome back to Wok Wednesday. I'm Lance from School of Wok, London's best Asian cookery school. Today we're making Hong Kong noodles. If you ever struggle with noodles cooking, I'm going to show you the best techniques to make it glossy and silky. Okay, we're going to start with building up our wok clock. Aromatics, your spring onions. And spring onions, we are keeping it into two parts, the firm bits and the leafy bits. The firm bits, they have like stronger flavor and they are less easy to overcook, which we're gonna cut into chunks. 12 o'clock on your wok clock. The leafy bits, just cut off the unhappy part. Just very simply into chunks, like that. And at the end, on your wok clock. And onion, we're using half of an onion steak. We're gonna go with a line. And make sure you separate it on your chopping board, otherwise it will be a pain. Try to separate it in the wok later. Onto your plate. Next bit, we're gonna cut some carrots. So we're gonna go through the cleaver skill for tiny bits. So when you come across with some ingredients that's round like this, they kind of roll around and not very safe. You're trying to hold it with your other hand. So you want to just trim off tiny bits to make it flat and stable. Then you can easily slice them. Stack them together, but not too much. Do a down and forward, down and forward, down and forward. While the other hand, you want to tuck them in, tuck the fingers in, make a stand. Use your knuckles to be a guideline, and like a claw basically. And do a down and forward, down and forward, down and forward. Okay. After that, red pepper for a bit of color, for extra health. Let's take the core out. And when you're slicing your pepper, always don't go with a slippery side. Go from inside. Back on the plate. And we've got some sweetheart cabbage. Might be the biggest sweetheart cabbage I've ever seen. What you want to do, very simply, thinly, and don't forget your claw. We've got some garlic chives here, cow choy, Chinese chives, whatever you want to call it. We're going to cut them into similar shapes as the other ones. In stir fries, we like to keep everything like kind of similar shapes, so when you use chopsticks to eat it, you can pick up everything all at once. Okay, and for bean sprouts, if you do mind the, let's say the root bit, stem bits, sprouts bits, you can pick them off, but make sure you wash it. Okay. And protein-wise, we got some frankfurter, pork, sausage, a bit of leftover from our event last night, Soju Saturday. These were the ingredients for the tteokbokki. Just want to kind of cut it into strips like that. You can use anything, any protein you like. Chicken, pork, beef, whatever you have left in your fridge, or spam. Okay, now we're going to start with mixing the sauce. Saltiness from your light soy. I'll do about 1.5 tablespoons. Okay, oyster, a tablespoon. A bit of sugar, a good pinch. Tiny bit of white pepper as well, and a bit of chicken powder. Mix well. And there are two more sauces to go in the dish, which is your dark soy sesame oil. We're gonna add it in at the end of cooking, and I'll show you why later. Okay, now we're gonna soak the noodles. Noodles here, very simple. Pot of water, bring it to boil, and your dry egg noodles, drop them in. The reason why we soak the noodles first, because you want to loosen them and you want to kind of par cook them. but you don't want to cook them too much, otherwise they will turn mushy in your wok later. What we're looking for, the texture wise, is al dente. Just put it straight on the tray is fine. You want to spread it out, and some people at this point, they will shock them in cold water, which I don't like, because I find that this, if you do it my way, you just leave it hot. The heat from the middle of the noodles is kind of expelling all the steam or the moisture out from the noodles, which makes it slightly drier once it's cooled down. Let it cool down for about like 6-7 minutes, and we're gonna start woking. So the first bit, you want to get your wok piping hot, and you need to get all the moisture out between all these carbon stew, and then season it with thin layer of oil to make it physically non-stick. Turn it down slightly, because we're gently frying the sausage here. So we're trying to make it slightly charred and get a bit of fat out from the sausage. We're going to take it out. Onions in. You want to cook the aromatics first. Just your onion and also the stem bits of the spring onion. The reason why we cook the aromatics first, you want to bring out the flavor, release the aroma, and the aroma will go in everything you added in later. Okay, nicely fragrant. Carrot, cabbage. You want a tiny bit of water to cook everything, to create some steam to all the vegetables. Pepper, bean sprouts, and again, just a tiny bit of water. So now we have added in aromatics and all the vegetables. And at the end, you add in garlic chives because they cook very quickly. They wilt down very quickly. Just want to toss well. And also sausage back in. Once the sausage back in, you want to season them with a tiny bit of sauce that you made earlier. Move it around, bit of wok toss. Nicely fragrant. Take it out and cook the noodles so you have enough heat to give everything in this dish a bit of char. Smoking hot, oil in. Fried rice, fried noodles. Fried rice noodles, always decent amount of oil. And turn it down slightly. Okay? And all the noodles in. Once the noodles in, turn it down to medium heat. At this bit, you want to kind of pan fry it until it gets a very nice crispy and kind of charred texture on the surface. So you don't want to stir it too much at this point. And that is the secret technique we have here for cooking your fried noodles. Separate your veg cooking and your noodles cooking. Flip it over. Okay, once it's nicely charred, I'm going to put the vegetable back in, also the sausage. Okay. Once everything's in, you want to toss it well. So now we need both hands. So it's kind of like loosen it. You pick up a tiny bit each time. So this is the key thing you do if you want to separate your noodles, if you don't want to clump up your noodles. Sauce in from the edge. And again, do the same thing. At this point, if you do too much wok tossing, it will clump up into a really like noodle ball. Instead, you want to just pick up a tiny bit each time to loosen it. Once it's nicely charred again, we added in the last two sauces, dark soy and your sesame oil. dark soy, not from the edge. You want to pour it onto the noodles. Because they contain quite a bit of caramel, you pour it from the edge, it might just burn straight away. And we want to use it to kind of color the dish nicely. So on the noodles instead of from the edge. Okay, once it's nicely golden brown, turn off the heat. At the end, sesame oil for a nice fragrance. And we serve. Now we're going to dig in. Smaller pair of chopsticks. So this way of soaking your noodles really keeps the kind of bounciness for your noodles. And it also soaks up all the sauce, really salty, savory. You can taste the smokiness from the sausage as well. Thank you so much for watching. We really enjoy making these videos for you. Tell us what you want us to make next time, and I will see you next week. Bye.